Okay, today we are starting a few minutes early just because I want to check some things. So for the first 1 or 2 minutes, I'm not going to teach anything. I just need to check some of my settings on Facebook to make sure that this video is going to work correctly. However, this live video today is just going to be an opportunity for you all to ask me some questions about myself. I don't want it to be too serious today. I don't want it to be too much about grammar or things like that. I just want you all to practice making some questions so that I can answer them. Maybe help you with your questions if they are not 100% correct. Answer the questions, show you how I, a native speaker, would answer them, and also give you an opportunity to practice listening and learn a little bit more about me in case you are interested. Some of you are not, that's fine, but there are also many of you who have lots of questions about me. But yeah, please give me just one moment. I have to go into Facebook and update some settings. When I do these live videos, you can see them on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And this is because I use something called StreamYard. But StreamYard does not allow me to update my Facebook settings. So right now I have to go into Facebook separately to update some things. So give me one moment and we will begin our lesson. Just about 30-45 seconds, please. One moment. Um, okay, everything should be all right. All right. Now, let's begin. I am going to read some of your comments and answer some of your questions. Although I want you to ask me questions about myself so that you can practice questions that you might use in a real conversation with a friend, a family member, or someone who you just met. That's what I want you to do. However, I do want to start with one question that is not about that topic because it is important for all of you. So this person says, I have been learning English for 1 year and I can't speak clearly or fluently. I'm looking at your English and it's not perfect, but this is really good for just 1 year. If you have only been learning English for 1 year and you wrote this, you're doing really well. I don't know what the problem is. This looks good for 1 year. Um, However, this is not your speaking. But what I want to make sure you understand is that 1 year is very little time. Almost nobody speaks English fluently in 1 year. If you are studying for 3 or 4 hours every day with a teacher, then yes, you can speak fluently in 1 year. Or if you use English every day at work and at home, and you study for 1 to 2 hours every day, then yes, you can become fluent in 1 year. But for most people, 1 year is crazy. So just relax, relax. It's going to take a few more years. You're not going to suddenly, magically be fluent and perfect, and you shouldn't expect that. If you have been studying in a classroom with a teacher for hours and hours and hours, then maybe, yes, you should expect to be almost fluent. But I don't think that's what you're doing. So just relax. You're doing a great job. This is already really good. So just keep learning. But again, today's lesson is not really about learning English. I just want you all to ask me some questions so that we can check your questions and I can make sure that you understand what they mean and how to answer them. Oh, it's a little bit hot down here. I think my air conditioning isn't really working. Okay. How would a native speaker answer the question, "Tell me about yourself"? Um, so the only time that someone is going to say, "Tell me about yourself," the only time that someone's going to say that is in a job interview. And basically, you give them a little bit of the information that they already know from your resume and from your cover letter, but then also add a little bit more information. Um, I can talk about that more in the future, but that's not something that we usually do in a conversation with someone. Most of you already know this, but we will start with this one because it's a very basic question. Where are you from? I'm from the United States, and the state that I'm from is called Maryland. Are you married and do you have children? Okay, good. Both questions are correct. Good. So, are you married? Yes, I am. Do you have children? No, I do not. How much time do you have? So, I don't know. I don't really understand the question. Um, if you are talking about this live video right now, um, we have about 25 more minutes. We're going to do this for 25 more minutes. A brief overview about the books that you have behind you. So most of these books are about language learning. So there's two Thai dictionaries, a Japanese book, a thesaurus, and some other books that I had to read in college about language learning and culture and other things like that. Over here, these are also just some of my books from college and then other books that interest me. Um, one of them is a dictionary of politics. One, let's see. Oh, those are just a lot of different books. It's not one thing. Up here, these are mostly just novels. Um, these mostly books about politics and sociology and stuff. And then over here, I have more books about language learning, politics, and other things. So mostly stuff that relates to this page. So stuff about different cultures, politics, and learning languages. Leklada, good morning. Sapito, okay, there's an interesting question. How things do you like to find in a good friend? Okay, so let me show you how we would ask this question. So it should look like this. What qualities do you look for in a friend? So when you want to be friends with someone, what kind of person do you want them to be? What qualities do you look for in a friend? Um, I don't really look for friends. I have a few friends, but I'm not like looking for friends or trying to make friends. I'm married, I have a job, I have things I have to do. I'm not really looking for friends, but if I were trying to make friends and choosing people to be friends with, I would say honest. Honesty is an important quality. Um, I don't know. That's one. Honesty. Let's go to another question. How do I hide that one? Where did it go? Give me one moment. I'm having trouble with this. Oh, okay, because that is not a comment. Okay, okay, there we go. One of my English teachers said yesterday it is considered rude to say, I need to go to the toilet in the USA. We should say, I need to go to the bathroom instead. Is he right? I don't think it's rude, but it's not normal. Because in American English, we don't have a room called a toilet. That room is usually called the bathroom, the restroom, WC, something like that. So it is strange to say go to the toilet, but I don't think it's rude. I think the reason that they are saying it sounds rude is that toilet is like poop or pee. I'm going poop. I'm going pee. Don't tell other people that. Um, so it's better to just say, I'm going to the restroom or I'm going to the bathroom because that way they don't directly think about you using the toilet because the toilet is the thing that is in the bathroom. What has been the most effective method you've used to teach English? I don't know if there's one specific thing that has been more effective than anything else, but when you're teaching, the number one most important thing is that the students need to be speaking more than the teacher. The teacher should not be speaking for most of the class. For most of the class, the students should be speaking. Have you ever taken up golf? So take up is a phrasal verb, which means to start to do a new hobby or a new activity. Um, so I'm glad that you used the phrasal verb taken up, but because you're asking a question about something and you don't know the answer, it would make more sense to just ask, have you ever played golf? Or do you play golf? And no, I do not play golf and I have never played golf. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I am 34. I will be 35 next month. And good. So, some people think it's rude to ask how old someone is. Um, I think that's really stupid. Why are people uncomfortable about that? Like, in my opinion, you need to know how old someone is in order to understand the context of their life. If you want to know, like, what their childhood was like, what their whole life was like, knowing how old they are is important. Um, so yeah, some people think it's rude to ask. For me, I think it's fine. I know that if I meet an old lady on the street, I'm not going to ask her, "Excuse me, how old are you?" That's weird. But if there's a reason why you want to know, then yeah, it's okay to ask someone how old they are, but you should try to do it politely, like this person did. If you don't mind me asking, of course. That makes it more polite. So yeah, I would usually ask, "Do you mind if I ask how old you are?" Or "Can I ask how old you are?" Which accent is better, British or American, and which one do you speak? So I am from the United States, and no accent is better than another accent. Um, your accent is just how you sound because of the place where you learned to speak, or the people who were around you when you learned to speak. But your accent doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make you better than other people. There's no best accent. What's your wife's nationality? My wife is Thai. So I lived in Thailand for 10 years, and I met my wife while I was there in Thailand. So she is Thai. Do you read often? So I definitely read a lot, but I don't read many books. I spend hours every day reading your comments and doing a little bit of research for my videos and things like that. But because I do all of that, I don't really have much time to read books. If I do read, it's usually just for maybe 10 to 15 minutes in the evening. Why is it so hot down here? How long have you been married? Good question. Perfect grammar. Very good. How long have you been married? Um, I can never remember. Um, about about 7 years. I have been married for about 7 years. Why did you decide to create this channel? So originally, it was just to help people who I knew to learn English. So I lived in Thailand. I knew lots of people who were learning English, and I wanted to just post free things to help them learn. And Then I worked in a hotel for 2 years where I had about 450 staff who were all learning English. So when I started that job, I continued posting in order to help them. Um, so yeah, I didn't start this because I wanted to make lots of money or I wanted to be famous or I didn't want to be a YouTuber or anything like that. I don't really like being on camera. I don't really like making videos. It's not my favorite thing to do. Um, but I started doing it because people wanted me to, and when I started posting videos, people said, "Oh, we like these. Please keep making them." So I have kept making them. Guerma, do you prefer teaching on social media or in a language center and why? Good question. Um, so it depends. They're very, very different. Teaching in a language center is nice for several reasons. One, it's a full-time job. You have a salary. You know how much money you're going to have every month. That's nice. Two, I really love working with students and working on social media. I'm not sitting in a classroom talking with you and watching you make mistakes and giving you feedback and interacting with you. That's what I really like is interacting with real people. And that doesn't really happen when I teach on social media. Um, so the job, I like teaching in real life in a language center or something like that. I prefer that to teaching on social media. Um, However, teaching in a language center, you often teach 7, 8, 9 hours standing, talking every day, 5 to 6 days a week. It's really tiring. Um, if you've ever learned in a language center, you've probably seen that your teachers are often very tired or drinking a lot of coffee. Um, so it's nice. It's nice to teach on social media because I don't have to do 7, 8 hours of speaking and standing and being in front of people for the whole day. That's really tiring. Um, so there's good things and bad things about both. But I do miss really working with students in the classroom. I definitely enjoy that more than I enjoy making these videos. How long have you been teaching English? So I have been teaching English since 2012. So about 13 years. Have you ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Actually, I did, and I didn't think it was very interesting or very useful. Usually I like those types of books, but that one I just didn't really find it interesting. Do you have any pet peeves? So a pet peeve is one thing that really annoys you. Something that happens or something that someone does. I don't know. Nothing too serious. One thing that I don't like is when you're trying to cross the street at a crosswalk and the cars do not stop for you. That is one of my pet peeves, is when people do not stop for pedestrians at crosswalks. Um, Crosswalks are the places where you walk across the street. Pedestrians are people who are walking. people who are not in cars. Those are called pedestrians. So I guess my pet peeve is when drivers do not stop for pedestrians at crosswalks. Have you ever been to Mexico? No, I have not, but that is one of the places that I would really like to go. In Finland, women say, "I have to go powder my nose." Okay, so she means that instead of saying go to the bathroom or go to the toilet, women sometimes say go powder my nose. Like put the um, I think we say that sometimes in the US, but it's definitely not very common. It's pretty old fashioned. And so this question, this should be, have you ever been to Colombia? Have you ever been to Colombia? No, I have not. The only countries that I have been to as an adult, so in the last 20 years, I have been to Thailand and Laos. Singapore for 1 day. When I was a child, maybe like 10 years old, I went to Denmark, Italy, and the UK, but I have not been to any other countries. How is the weather in Maryland? And Maryland is Maryland, like Mary, like the woman's name, Mary, Maryland. But it's pronounced, it is pronounced the way that you spelled it, Maryland. Um, right now, it's like 67 degrees Fahrenheit, but what is that in Celsius? Let's check. Current temperature. Okay, right now it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit, but in Celsius it's 18, 18 degrees Celsius. So it's a little bit cool here, but I don't know why it's so hot in this room right now because it's not hot outside. I'm not sure what's going on. And it's already fall there, isn't it? Yes, good question tag. Very good. Yes, it is fall. Fall began about 1 week ago, and the weather has started to cool down quite a bit. I'm seeing a lot of questions that are not about the topic. Oh, and I'm pretty far behind. I need to skip some of the questions to go to the questions that people are asking now. Um, Evelyn asked, "How do you explain difficult topics in a simple way?" Um, so when I'm explaining things like right now, um, a lot of it is just from experience. Um, I have spent hundreds of hours in a real classroom teaching people how to use present perfect tense correctly. So if I need to talk about present perfect tense, it's easy because I have done it for hundreds of hours before. And in all of those situations, I also spent time researching and preparing myself to make sure that I was ready to do a good job. Um, so I'm not like magic or something. I just have a lot of experience with these topics because I am a real teacher. Um, However, when I make my videos, and people say like, "Wow, you explained that so well." Yeah, that's because I spent hours making a 3-minute video. So when my videos are 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long, I usually spend about 5 hours writing that video, choosing the best examples, choosing the best language, making sure that things are simple. Gonna look for maybe 2 more questions because then I have got to go. Let's do maybe 2 more questions. Which season do you like? So because there are 4 seasons, we can say the most. Which season do you like the most? Or which season is your favorite? My favorite season, I think, is fall. I like fall. It has Halloween, my birthday, Thanksgiving. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's a nice change after the summer has been very hot and humid. It's nice to have the cool weather without it being too cold or too wet. So yeah, I like fall. What's your favorite food? Um, I don't have one favorite food, but I think one of my favorite foods is papaya salad, which is a spicy dish that they eat in Thailand and Laos. How have you been doing lately? Um, Give me one moment. How have you been doing lately? So this is a good question. This is like, how are you? But it shows that you care a little bit more about the past and you want to hear a little bit of a story. Like you haven't seen someone in 2 or 3 weeks and you want them to tell you a little bit about their life. Um, so lately, I have been quite busy. I haven't been replying to as many comments as I would like to on my Facebook page and YouTube channel because I've had other things that I have been working on. Also, I've also been very busy because my parents are traveling and I'm taking care of both of their dogs. So lately, I have been a bit busy. What time do you usually go to sleep? So I usually go to sleep sometime between 11:30 p.m. and 1 o'clock a.m. Um, it depends, because I mean, life changes. I worked in a hotel for 2 years. When I worked in the hotel, I went to bed before 10 p.m. and woke up at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. every day. Now I don't really have any reason to wake up early, so I go to sleep a little bit later. Do you go to church? No, I do not go to church. Are you planning to travel to Europe for a longer period? I don't have plans to go to Europe because I don't have any plans to travel anytime soon, but I definitely would like to. I would like to, but I do not have plans. Yeah, I've got to end this live though because I have to go somewhere. It has been 30 minutes as I said we would do. Thank you all very much for your wonderful questions. Um, Also, when you join my live videos, make sure to read the description because this video, it said in the description, it said we are going to practice asking questions that you might use in a conversation. But lots of people are still asking questions about English, which is not really what I wanted to do with this video. So when you join, please just make sure to read the description, read the topic, check what the video is about before asking questions. Um, and it's fine. It's fine. It's okay that people are asking other questions, but I want you to understand why I am not answering your questions. I'm not answering them because they are not about the topic of this video today, even if they are good questions. So yeah, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for joining. Also, just a reminder, if you are someone who was interested in my ebook about how to learn to think in English, that ebook is now available, and I will post the link in the comments below. That's all for today. Thank you all for joining.